If you are an online health and fitness coach and you find that your clients really struggle to stay consistent with their calorie goal, specifically while they're in a caloric deficit and they complain that they aren't seeing results, the scale is stalling, they're just really ultimately unhappy. However, they aren't being honest on the weekends, they aren't tracking on the weekends, or they just seem to always go over in their calorie goal, this video is for you. Hi, I'm Kelsey Nannini, certified strength and conditioning specialist and certified nutrition coach. And I'm here to help you go from frequent gym goer to strong, confident, educated athlete. And today I'm going to help you do just that if you are currently a fitness coach that is struggling with their clients' adherence. It is very common, and I know this from personal experience as an online health and fitness coach myself, that clients complain about not seeing results when they aren't putting in the effort or staying consistent. It is very easy for a client to just not track on the weekends and say they enjoyed a day off of tracking, but then they're going excessively over in their calorie goals and excessively under in their protein goals. And if you are a coach, you know the importance of consistency, you know the importance of protein, and how much the weekends can actually kill your progress. Now, there's a few reasons why people tend to just go overboard on the weekends. One, they aren't tracking, they're taking a break from MyFitnessPal and not realizing how much those vodka sodas and chicken wings at the bar actually add up. The second is they're severely restricting on the weekdays, saying that they're too busy, they're too stressed throughout the day, and so they're not actually consistently hitting their nutrition goals on the weekdays. When the weekends come, they're not as stressed, they have a lot more freedom. They go out to eat, they have events, and they tend to overeat without realizing it. Maybe they're at a baby shower, a bridal shower, a birthday party, some sort of event, and they're just picking at the finger foods. Those charcuterie boards, they add up. And I'm not here to tell you that your clients can't have freedom, that you can't have freedom and live your life outside of MyFitnessPal or whatever other tracking app you use. I firmly believe that your fitness and nutrition goals should fit into your life, and not having your fitness and nutrition goals actually rule your life. With that being said, I have found an amazing solution to this issue that has worked very well for some of my clients, and I hope that it works for your clients as well. Let's get into it. So here I have a client example. This is a client that is in a caloric deficit. Right now, their current goals are 1,800 calories and 140 grams of protein. I'm not gonna get into the specifics of like carbs and fats for the purpose of this video, so we're just focusing on calories and protein for now. With that being said, the totals for the week. So instead of just looking at Monday alone, or just looking at Thursday alone, and the reason we don't wanna just look at one day isolated is because one day isn't going to make any difference. Just as like one perfect day isn't going to immediately make you shredded, one bad day is not immediately going to completely ruin all of your progress. When we start to look at our calories and protein and progress, consistency as a whole week instead of as one singular day, that's when all of the change can be made. 12,600 calories is our weekly total. 980 grams of protein is our weekly total for protein. Let's say a normal week for this client looks as such. Really, Monday through Thursday, they're on point, as you can see. They're in, within 5 grams of protein, which is awesome. I typically instruct my clients to be within 10 grams, really close within that 1,800 calorie range. However, they go out Friday and Saturday and they don't track, but we're going to estimate what they did. They tell you exactly what they drank, what they ate, and you estimate that they had about 3,326 calories and 118 grams of protein. Then Saturday rolls around and basically the same thing. They're out and about, they're eating out, they have a few drinks, they go to a house party, and they're really not accounting for how much alcohol adds up. And even without alcohol, let's just say they went out to eat and then had dessert afterwards. This is a very real possibility if they're eating normally throughout the day, which I instruct clients to do. Don't save your calories for dinner, still eat high protein, high fiber, high nutrients throughout the day before you go and eat out. Now, Sundays, I typically notice that clients will eat a little bit less and less protein just because they're waking up later. Maybe they have a hangover. Again, I'm not gonna tell someone how to live their life. You can't go out if you enjoy going out with friends. You can't go out and wine taste or go to a bar. If that's something you enjoy doing, I'm not going to stop you, because at the end of the day, you have to live your life and you have to actually enjoy your life. Health is not just physical, it's emotional, spiritual, mental. And if you have a stressful job or a very regimented life in the weekdays, then enjoying some time off of just the mundane on the weekends is totally fine. When we look at this though, they are going significantly over 3,000 calories over what their initial weekly goal is, making their average calories about 450 calories over what their goal is per day. Now, that can certainly add up because now they're at or above their maintenance depending on their stats, whereas this would have been in a deficit. In addition to that, they are within 10 grams of protein on average at 132 grams, but they still are about 60 grams short for the week. Now, is that a make or break? They're still averaging within 10 grams, but they are lower. And if we have a lower amount of protein, that can affect the muscle building process, the muscle recovery process, and especially if they're consuming alcohol, that can also interfere with muscle recovery as well. So what do we do instead? Well, like I said, we want to start focusing on the week as a whole and not just one individual day. So we instead give them a goal for 5 days of the week and a goal for 2 days of the week. Now, their goal for the 5 days, it's going to be lower. It's at 1,600 calories. But then their goal for the other 2 days is 2,300 calories. So now they have an extra 500 calories to work with on the weekends. Is that as much as these two? No, but we are going to teach them how to have a little more balance on the weekends, not go super duper overboard and still enjoy their time. So it's kind of like a give and take, right? Like work with me and I'm gonna work with you. Let's try to control going totally out of control on the weekends. Find the balance between out of control and enjoying your life. So now they have an additional 500 calories to work with, which makes their total that same 12,600 calories for the week. With protein, we're actually going to end up having a little higher of a total by giving them 150 grams to work with on the weekdays and just 120 to work with on the weekends. That's going to bring their total for the week to 990, where the original total was 980. So not too much of a difference, but they actually are going to be getting more protein in this route. So now if we look at their weekly totals, we see that they're staying within a good range for those 4 days. The weekends, they get a little more flexibility. And then Sunday is that 5th day where they're back on track. Now we see the total is 12,753, which is pretty close to this number and brings their average calories to 1821, which is still a good range. Their total for protein is 994 and their average is 142. So as you can see, this is going to provide them a little more flexibility and probably a little less guilt on the weekends to where they aren't stressing over having to be perfect on the weekends. They can be a little bit more relaxed and go with the flow on the weekends versus adding more stress to the weekends than there needs to be, especially if they're a person who has a stressful job on the weekdays, like I said, and they want to just let loose on the weekends a little more. We can find that balance between completely letting go of all of our health and fitness goals while also still enjoying life. Now, is this the absolute perfect solution? In my opinion, it definitely could be. I don't also think this is something that needs to be long-term. I think this is something that can be awesome while your client's in a caloric deficit and wanting to lose a little bit of body fat, but their progress is stalling because they can't seem to find the balance on the weekends. This gives them a visual of like, hey, you have an extra 500 calories to work with on the weekends. We just need to learn how to reel that in a little bit because you are still going to be consuming, 1,000 calories less on the weekends than you maybe were before. So this can teach them that balance. Again, I don't feel this needs to be a long-term thing, but it can be great in a deficit. But then once they go back to maintenance, they obviously by nature have more calories to work with overall. And hopefully they can learn to find that balance of all 7 days of the week. We can fit those fun foods in while still prioritizing whole, nutritious foods. I'm interested to see what you think as a health and fitness coach, or maybe you're just watching this for yourself, trying to figure out how to find more balance between the weekends and the weekdays. Comment below what your thoughts are on this method. If you would use this yourself, or maybe you'd use this on clients, I'm interested to know what you think. And as always, make sure to give this video a thumbs up so I know that it was helpful to you. Subscribe if you have not yet already, and I will see you in the next one.